up, everyone?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
I
morning.
see you, Steve. You're normal. Who's over here?
That's Sergio.
That's not Sergio.
Yes, it is.
What? Sergio, you became your own dream. I love that for you. But seriously, everybody, this is Tara. You might have seen her on an episode like 2 or 3 episodes ago. Our hangover episode for my birthday, basically. So Sergio couldn't be here. The Onlyfans news really hurt the poor man. So
I was just gonna say he's devastated. He's crushed.
he's on a really masculine retreat right now to recover. So we have Tara here to fill in that void Sergio left with us today. How are you, Tara?
I'm great. Happy to be here with you. Happy to help Sergio get a break so he can pull himself together from the big loss.
The poor guy needs it. I mean, and I think we all do, but somebody's got to carry the load. So we got to take turns.
Someone's got to carry the load?
Yeah.
Is that phrasing?
Anyways!
I thought I was the one with the biggest phrasing problem. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, I'm not even trying and it's happening. So I'm sorry, guys. This episode's already a mess. So in terms of the mess, we wanted, on our hangover episode, we talked about the Me You Love in the Dark, #1. It's an issue that was our cop and drop. And the episode before that, Emmett Davis from the Let's Go podcast, he was the one that picked it out. So he wanted to talk about it. And we messed up, especially Sergio, because he was hosting, and we did not show your video, Emmett. So we want to make that up to you. So we're going to do a little rewind real quick, guys, and we're going to put up Emmett's thoughts on the Me You Love in the Dark, because he took the time to share his thoughts and everything, and we screwed up. So we're going to do that real quick, and then we'll get started on our main show with our week in review and everything.
Oh, hi, friends. Emmett from Let's Go here. Just wanted to pop in and give my thoughts on the Copper Drop this week. Issue #1 of The Me You Love in the Dark from Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. Well, let me tell you, folks, Sergio had some suspect selling skills last week. But yes, The Me You Love in the Dark is a 100% cop. It is one of the best first issues of the year and one of the best horror comics I've read. Ro, our lead character, she's interesting. She's flawed. I find the dialogue, the monologue, I find it all perfect. I love the voice of this book. Ro is an outstanding character that I cannot wait to see more of. The issue is spooky, but not downright scary. It has an aura that gives off a bit of an uneasy feeling. The first issue really helped build the world and what we can expect from it. But I also think that we can really expect, or we should expect, the unexpected with this series. With the great team of Scotty Young and Jorge Corona together again after their acclaimed series Middle West, the Me You Love in the Dark is already set up for greatness, I think. As for issue #1, the Copper Drop for House of Nerd, I say cop this sucker. I'm Emmett from Let's Go. Thanks, folks.
Oh, that was so much better than anything we said on it.
Thank you, Emmett.
I'm so sorry, Emmett. That was so great.
Nicely done.
That was awesome. Yeah. So I don't think Emmett's here yet, but I'll be sure to shout him out so he knows we did show it. But yeah, so let's get started. Today we're talking our week in review as always. We've got a game coming up in between our discussion segment as well. And we're going to talk about nudity in comics, which I think we're going to have lots of fun with because we have no shame here. We'll check in with Steve for Tio Comic Club, and then we'll do some Copper Drop fun. And Sergio is not here, and he's not here to be over enthusiastic, but I will do it for him. We have a guest announcement at the end of the show, which is very exciting. I'm personally very excited about this person. So stick around for the end of the episode to find out who we are bringing on the show next week. It is a creator. I'm super excited. And yes, let's get started. Steve, you want to talk about your week? What
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll kick things off. I got quite a bit, actually. My Marvel bullshit as usual. This week, I ended up getting the variant for the Trial of Magneto because it's the same price, and it is just beautiful. Art term, like, how could you not love it? And I don't know about your opinions on the Trial of Magneto, Lauren. Do you have any thoughts?
I think it was a fun read. I don't feel good having any critical thoughts on it because I feel like if I try to say like, oh, I really
Lauren.
Aw.
Marvel's got her. Okay. I'm not going to say anything critical on this book.
There, she's back.
Marauders is good. Marvel did a good job. Lauren, what other good things has Marvel done?
I mean,
They've done
Marauders
Sinister
is
War.
fun.
They've done really good on Sinister War. Let's not tick Marvel off anymore. The show can only all we have is this connection, and if Marvel continues to cut it, we're out.
I mean, yeah, it's like they're in my Wi-Fi connection. My Wi-Fi literally dipped for a second there and came back. Like, fuck.
that's Marvel.
I want Nightcrawler. What's up for me?
Nightwing, I've also read this week. I thought it was good. It was kind of like the other Tom Taylor stuff that we've talked about in terms of Nightwing. It's a status quo, just rebuild. It feels like things are kind of changing, but I don't know. Things aren't changing quick enough maybe for me because it's never reaching the top three. And my my top three this week starts with number 3. Lauren, I think you're gonna agree with me. Good old Way of X.
Yes.
Now I didn't know going into this book that this was going to be like a mini-series type thing because everything I'm reading so far is saying this is the Way of X series finale. And then it's going to continue in a one-shot, and then potentially after that there'll be more stuff. Marvel's very confusing at how they publish their books and how they explain their books, and I'm getting kind of tired of it because it doesn't help any new reader, and it certainly doesn't help any current reader because I'm reading this and I'm so confused that now this is going to wrap up in this one-shot thing that somehow it's still going to continue, but this is also a finale. I don't like it. But in terms of the issue itself, absolutely loved it. It's my top 3 for a reason. I think this issue kind of showcases why Nightcrawler needed to have a spotlight on him. And especially in the new world of Krakoa, how his morality and his spirituality and just his religious side of himself can also kind of combat what's currently going on in those in the new Marvel mutant universe, right? I think this book did so much right in terms of a finale, if we want to call it that, and I think it did even more right in terms of just creating a good book and a good character for Nightcrawler to kind of launch off of in the other Krakoa X books. As Lauren, do you want to say anything?
I mean, I absolutely loved it. As somebody who didn't enjoy the last 2 issues as much. Like the first one was okay. The second one was really good. The third and fourth, it was kind of like, where are you going? I'm not sure I like your direction again. And then they did this. Like, yeah, it has some of the best moments I've ever seen for Nightcrawler's character in decades. And it's written well. It's not just like, look, here's a cool moment for him. It makes sense. And yeah, I really loved it. And also, if you're not reading Way of X, but you care about the Krakoan X-Men era, you need to read Way of X because not only are its repercussions important for Nightcrawler, it literally is going to affect the entire world of Krakoa. Like, you need to read that line.
Yeah. And it also deals with some of the stuff that the other books aren't really looking after, like certain of the new mutant laws, like make more mutants and stuff like that. The issue that dealt on what's currently going on for them, adhering to make more mutants, it's pretty drastic in this utopia type world. Like it's interesting looking at the nooks and crannies.
There's so many things you can discuss, particularly with this last issue. I mean, the whole series as a whole, but again, like this, I agree with you. It really reads as like a season finale for a show. Like it all of a sudden, everything makes sense. All the build up that you're like, where's this going? I don't know if it's going where I want. It finally all connects. It works. And you have all these aha moments. And yet at the end of it, you're still like, holy shit, where are they going to go from here now that we've had these moments? It's really great. So if you've read Wave X and you dropped it halfway through because you didn't like it, please, it's only 5 issues. Read till the last issue. It will make all the difference. Like, it's crazy how much of a difference it made.
Yeah. And then get prepared for next month when you got to pick up that one shot.
Yes, I will. I'm not worried about it. They got me. It's fine.
I feel a lot like you this week, Lauren, because my number 2 for this week is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, issue number 3.
Nice.
And like I said, I'm a fan of Tom King's work, even the stuff that a lot of people usually don't like. I don't know what it is. I'm really, really into this book, especially this issue. Man, like it just felt so good. I like the narrative that they use for it being a story told to someone. And you know, Ruth is a character that kind of at least is supposed to make it to the end of this because of the fact that there's that narration from her that's kind of her looking back on her life and her looking back on things happening. So, you know, hopefully she's an older person by this point, just looking back on certain things. And the way, Lauren, you're a huge Supergirl fan, so you might have differing opinions. I only know Supergirl from the TV series that I watch, and I don't really keep up with their comic stuff. But this book I do watch, and for me, at least, I'm liking the depiction of Supergirl. But I'm not a super fan to say that, but I like the way that I like the spotlight because it's on her, but it's on her in a way where you're getting it from someone else's perspective. You're not in Supergirl's head. You're not Kara Zor-El. She's the name of this book. She's this idol character that this person is kind of looking up to and growing attached to. And I like that we're getting someone else's perspective rather than Kara's, because any other Supergirl book, we're in her head all the time. And this book, it's what does being Supergirl mean to someone who doesn't know who Supergirl is?
I mean, I agree with that, actually, that it's a nice change in perspective, especially for Supergirl, because we see stories like this all the time for Superman, where other people idolize him and they're like, wow, look at this person. They see these different sides to him they're not used to seeing because they idolize him. And so finally, Kara is getting something like that as well, where, yeah, she's not the same as Clark or Superman. They're both different, but at the same time, they're both incredibly similar in that they are these big heroes that people can idolize. And they do idolize. And what is it like when you see your idol in a different light? You see who they really are. They're not just the pretty, look, I saved people, even though that's a part of them. They're also all these other sides. And I do like that perspective. My thing is the narration's way too heavy on Ruth's point of view. I want more dialogue. I want less of the heavy narration for Ruthie, because at that point, I don't feel like I'm reading a comic. I feel like I'm reading a literal novel.
Which is why I like it. I personally am
liking
this
like
feel.
That. I don't want it. Ruth has some great thoughts, and I do like her insight into Supergirl. It is an interesting perspective. I just think their narration, it's too heavy, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can I be honest? I skimmed this issue because the narration was too heavy for me. But I agree with you. I like how King is characterizing Kara here. He actually does a great job with her characterization, which surprised me in a very nice way. So this is me trashing the book. It's just, King, do you have to do the narration so much? The exposition, do you have to?
In my opinion on that, I feel like this is another King story where it's going to read so well in that trade when all 8 issues are out and they're put into one book. And you're right. It feels kind of novelesque in its way. And I am really, really digging that atmosphere, because I'm reading all these other Marvel books and it feels like a comic, straight up a comic. But this book, it feels like a little bit more. It does feel like a novel in a way. And I feel like the only downside to what's happening with this book is the fact that, it's released monthly. The fact that there's these big pauses in between these issues. Once this book is, all 8 issues are together in a trade format, I think a lot of people are going to like it a lot more, because you're setting yourself up to be in that mood for that narration when you're reading it as a whole. Right now, you're reading your other books. You're going from this Marvel book. I'm going from Nightwing to Sinister War to Supergirl. And I can agree with you. Like, when you switch your mindset like that, this book can come off as a little bit tiring. But when you are just into the book itself and you know how it's going, I think your mind is going to appreciate it and you're going to read it a lot better. In terms of the artwork, Joey's asking, it is done by, let me pull it up here.
Oh, it's going to be in the last page. They do it.
I got it. Bilquis Evely?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Also, if you think the main cover is beautiful, which it is, this variant that I got is my personal favorite.
Oh, nice.
That is nice.
I also really enjoy, because we didn't talk about it, the artwork in this. It may not be for everyone, but I am digging the coloring in this book. Like, it's just so beautiful to look at.
The palette reminds me a lot of a similar shade palette to like Layla Starr and stuff.
Yeah, and I love
Like
this.
there's a little deeper blues and yellows in this, but like similar kind of pastels palette, I think.
Absolutely. So for that reason, and how much I really dug this book, especially this issue, this is a really dark issue when it comes to a Supergirl book. I don't want to spoil what's in it, but I would say pick it up because there are some really, really deep, dark themes, and I think King knocked it out of the park with this issue of addressing those themes.
And so that's your number 2. That's not your number 1, though. What's your number 1? Like, how do you
exactly.
top that?
So that's my number 2. My number 1 this is a variant, Moon Knight number 2.
Oh yeah, man, you're gonna make a lot of people happy with that choice. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Man, Moon Knight is back, and I love saying that because sometimes Moon Knight can be a real big hit or miss. Bendis's run was a bit of a miss back in like, what was it, 08 or whenever it was, or 2012 maybe. The current run right now, we're only on issue 2, but man, does it feel so good to have Moon Knight back. It's the artwork alone. I love the way that they're using the black and whites for him. Moon Knight's always really excelled at using that really, really deep black and having it contrast with some of the other colors. This book is no exception on that. The artwork is done by, I should know this, Alessandro Capuccio, who's knocking it out of the park because this book had some wild artwork, like this page specifically, and this page here. This book gets weird, and I love Moon Knight for being that weird Marvel property where you can go many different directions with it based on the fact that, he's a character that has different personalities, and, one issue could be about, this thing going on, and another issue could be about something else, and it works so well in this weird way. I'm really digging Moon Knight. Definitely pick up issue 1 and issue 2 if you haven't yet, because, man, Moon Knight is back. I don't know what else to say.
It's good. I agree. Chris Evans with the Let's Go podcast, he was yelling at me to like pick up Moon Knight because he's a big Moon Knight stan too. So I picked it up and it's worth it. Yeah.
So
I'm still trying to get my hands on both. I'm glad I'm still trying.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
My top 3, Way of X number 3, Supergirl number 2, and Moon Knight number 1. That I feel like Lauren this week. I've got Supergirl and Nightcrawler in my top 3.
Doesn't it feel great to be like me? And I'm kidding. It's terrible.
Yes.
Cool. Tara, what's been going on with you this week? I know it takes you a bit longer to get your books and stuff. So is there anything that you were able to read or enjoy? Anything like that?
I was able to both read and enjoy a few things, but yeah, you're right. I'm on delay because of mail, and I still haven't gotten things coordinated yet with the newest local place that, well, it's not a new place, but in terms of it being reopened, that's new. So still trying to coordinate something locally with them. But in the meantime, I did get a chance to read last week's Copper Drops. So I've read Second Chances. I've read God of Tremors. I've got to finish reading Batman Year Zero for our comic book club, for the Toronto Comic Book Club. And got a chance to start the Dark Phoenix saga from Uncanny X-Men, but haven't finished it. Yay! I know I'm trying so hard with the
so good. Everything else stop until you finish it.
And also got a chance finally to read the last book you'll ever read. From last week.
So you did read that one?
Did read that one, and also in keeping with the theme of the show, but not because of the theme of the show, because I did it beforehand, got a couple of the black covers for that as well.
Nice.
And also picked up the Sex Criminals volume again that I had been reading a while ago and put to the side, but I was in the mood for some Zdarsky this week. So,
nice.
I've been dabbling, but in terms of things I finished, the Everything But Sex Criminals was what I finished. I don't necessarily have like a top 3, but I guess I could make one of them the third.
I'll say you can, or because God of Tremors we'll talk about during our Copper Drop.
Yeah.
So why don't I just do my top 1, because I don't want to steal any thunder from the Copper Drop talk.
Yeah, go
pick
ahead.
your number one, and then if it's not in your top one, I would also like to hear about Second Chances, because that was the book that was not chosen last week. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that, so we can compare it to the book that was chosen this week.
Well, it was my number one. Second
Oh.
Chances was my number one.
Oh!
And yeah, really enjoyed it. Was one of those page turners for me where I got to the end and was like, wait, I need more now. When is the next one coming? And that has not been happening to me a lot lately, just because of me, not because of the books. It's not it's not you, it's me. But yeah, this for some reason just really caught me. I think I needed a little gritty noir kind of situation going on. And there was one line in particular that, like, there were so many times, it's not a spoiler for me to say this line, but there's a line where the narrator says there's no such thing as a third chance after all. And that kept popping back into my head when it was on some of the key moments, when it was hitting the beats of the book. And it just really, it has like a nice rhythm to it. I felt, again, sometimes when I feel like I'm hitting a good rhythm with a book, I feel like I'm reading storyboards for a movie about it. And this was one of those books where I was so ready to cast the film already. So I'm very anxious to see what's going to happen after this. They got a lot done in one image without a lot of exposition. They even did some cute little, you might call them tricky, but like cute little things to transition from one topic to the next, where it's kind of like, meanwhile, and a phone rings in another place, and then you jump back without feeling jarred. So I really enjoyed it. The fact that it was black and white on the inside sometimes is jarring for me, but it wasn't in this case.
Right. That was my biggest thing. Yeah. The art style and the way it's not only penciled but inked in particular.
Oh,
so
those
it looks
textures.
Exactly. Even though it's not in color,
right.
my brain still is like, oh, but this is close enough, and so it's almost like it translates it, so it still works for me. I really enjoyed the art way more than I thought I would.
Same here, and because I was expecting to maybe have to work a little bit, and good. There's agreement from Elle there that it was such a fun read, and pretty good from Joey. It's still high enough for me for reading, because I know how good his taste is too. So I really enjoyed it. So
and I'm the same in terms of I really enjoyed Second Chances as well. So it's cool to hear that. So, and you enjoyed it more than God of Tremors, without going to detail.
I did, even though I really liked it too. Just almost exactly what Joey just said. Loved them both, but if I had to pick one over the other, it's Second Chances.
Yeah.
So for me, my comic shop didn't have Second Chances, so I think it's sold out there.
As it should have. It's amazing.
As it should. I never got to read it. Is it something that I like? Is it a miniseries? Is it an ongoing? What do we know about this book?
I'm not sure.
I'm not positive either. I've seen it. I would
still pick it up though, because it's just
it's worth it.
Yeah, it's a really fun read. That's why I was like ticked last week when Sergio picked it before Copper Drop, which meant I couldn't pick it, so I had to pick something else, because that's what I wanted to pick it. I was like, what? Tremors looks good. That's what I gotta do. So
I don't
really good pick.
They set up a lot of stories in the first episode, so it could really go either way. But I don't know why I think I heard it was short. Maybe I heard that in my head, so I could justify the fact that I want to keep pulling it. But
yeah, maybe. Who knows?
It could go either way, though, from the story.
So your top one of everything that you've read this week is Second Chances, number one.
Yes, if that's fair to say, considering I read some classics too.
Yeah, absolutely fair to say.
Yeah, that's even better. That's even more wild to me. So, because there's some good classics out there. So, for sure,
definitely.
Lauren, what's your haul look like this week?
Well, this isn't all of it. It's missing like 3 or 4 issues, but it's at least that thick. So it doesn't look that bad, but it's like I had like $70-something worth, and
oh my God,
it's fine. I'm gonna go through a lot of these quickly. This week was really hard for me because I got 14 books, and there were only like 2 or 3 that were like to me, like not terrible, that they just didn't hit. The rest of them all hit in some way for me, like whether they were just fun or they were really good critically, like they were just fun. I did pick up Marauders like Steve did.
Yeah.
This was the first Marauders issue I've really enjoyed in a while. So that was really nice. It was a lot of fun. Lots of action. We got to see more from Tempo, who did not win the vote, but she should have. But it's fine to be on the X-Men team. So at least now she's getting some spotlight here. So I like that they're doing that. The first issue of King the Conqueror was actually really good, really interesting. And I have a lot to learn about King because he's so fucking confusing with his history because of all the time travel and stuff. But I'm really interested to start learning more. I know they're playing that out because of the MCU. I don't care. It was a good issue. I picked up Moon Knight. I picked up the Momoko cover, though.
It's so good.
Because,
that is a nice cover.
Yeah. Trial Magneto, I picked that up as well. I almost didn't, but I did the last second, and I enjoyed it. I think it's a ridiculous fun event. I mean, not fun like woohoo, it's all jokes and stuff, but I enjoyed it. Home, this was the last issue. I know this is Sergio's thing. It's also something I really enjoy. This was a great mini-series. If you haven't, pick it up. I hope to see it out in a trade paperback. I'm not sure yet. But it's a really good series. So definitely pick that up. I enjoyed that. Beyond the Breach #2, this was one of our copper drops, the first issue. This was a lot of fun. I really like the action and the monster horror in it. So if you're into monster horror stuff and cool monster art, this is it for you. It's just a lot of fun.
Like, are you talking like kaiju monsters? Like big old city destroying monsters?
I'm not sure.
No, just like monsters. Like, you know how the monsters look in some of these killing the children, but you only see it every once in a while? This, you see monsters like that all the time in.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like there's a giant turtle from a different planet she rides on the back of. That's what's on the cover. Like, it's just really weird, man. It's great. I really enjoyed it. So I'm glad I kept copying that. We're almost to my top 3, and I picked up Supergirl, as you saw earlier. I did enjoy that as well. I read Nightwing. It was almost in my top 3, but it didn't quite make it. But I did enjoy this issue more than the last 2.
Yeah.
Not because anything new or big happened necessarily, but just because Tom Taylor did what he does, and he's like, oh, I'm going to get you back by empathy and making you cry for your character again. All right, we're going to have this person see Dick. And you're like, he just brought this character and like it's nothing. Damn it, Taylor. So it was good. It was very soft and feelsy, and it was great. So, but my top 3, one person on Twitter got it right for once. One person got it right. One. I'm not sure if they're in the correct order, but I don't care. You guessed them all right. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to give you the win because you're right. My third one was Second Chances. We just talked about it, so I'm not going to go delve onto it too much more other than pick it up. It's really good. I don't care if you don't like black and white. You'll be fine. Pick it up. It's just, yeah, it surprised me. And I did write a review for it on the Wednesday poll list. So if you want more convincing, feel free to read my article going more into it and kind of psychoanalyzing the character and his thoughts and stuff, because it's really good. There's a lot of good discussions you can have around that book. So
that's only your number 3.
Yep, that's number 3. My number 2 was Killer Queens. This shit was so fun.
Nice.
I've never heard of this book before. Give me the cliff notes. Give me the summary.
You know, it was really just pitched as like gay assassins being chaotic book. Like literally that's how it was pitched. And so I almost didn't pick it up because I was like, what if this is just trying to, you know, be marketed because woohoo, gays, pick this book up, but it's actually shit. But I picked it up because I was like, you know what? Let's see if it's done well. Let's see if it's a fun whatever. And it was. It's done by an all LGBTQ team as well, which is great. So
Nice.
It's not straight people trying to write this shit. It's very fun and silly. If you like Guardians of the Galaxy type of humor and chaos and just silliness, this reminds me a lot of that. It's just a really good time, and it's different. The art's beautiful. The coloring's great. And it's nice to see see something normalized again, you know, where it's not like, look, this is a gay story about trauma and they come out. Like, it's literally just these weird space assassins, like, being chaotic, and they both just happen to be gay. Like, okay, great.
Yeah, it looks like you're not the only one, Lauren. Looks like Joey's also.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the bad feeling, but I sucked it up and got it anyway because I wanted to try it. And it's Dark Horse, it's an indie, and it's all LGBTQ team. So I was like, all right, let's see. And it's good. If you like silly chaos, you like ridiculous jokes like I do, and you like space and action, you'll enjoy it. So definitely recommend it. If you did not pick it up.
And then what's your number one? And
Steve, you're sitting here waiting. You're sitting here because you know what it is.
I say this because shocking no one.
Hey, it shocked me because the last 2 issues, kind of like Joey P said on Twitter, I really wasn't into. But Way of X number 5, like we talked about,
yes.
hit it out of the park, hit it to China, to Saturn, to everywhere, like as far as you can get to another
Morocco. Hit it to
I mean, Saturn's further than Morocco, but you know. But yeah, I mean, I think I said it earlier. It's just there's so much you can talk about this issue. This was so good because in past issues, I personally felt like, okay, well, Kurt's still trying to be too nice. Like, when's Kurt gonna finally say enough is enough? Because Kurt's not. Because everybody thinks, oh, well, he's been a priest or he is a priest, and so he's just gonna be nice all the time. No, he's gonna lose it at some point, and he's gonna say enough's enough and put people in their place. And he finally did this issue while still in character. He said enough is enough.
It did feel like Kurt too, and that was the nice thing.
Yeah, and that's what I've been saying for literally forever. Is look, Kurt isn't just this nice guy. He's like, oh, I'm cute all the time, and I'm just like, oh, be better, please. No, at some point he's gonna say you're wrong, and I know you are, and I'm gonna make sure you realize it so you can do better and actually stop hurting others and help people and shit. Like that's how he is. And finally, it happened, and it just felt so vindicating for me as a Nightcrawler fan and it was necessary, and it also wasn't just a justice for him. It furthered the Krakoan plot, and so a lot of the RX books are just like, look, Krakoa, and look, everybody's in their own head. He's looking at the big picture of what Krakoa really means and what's happening. And so in this issue, there's the revelation with the last law of Krakoa, the third one, which is respect the sacred land. And Kurt has a revelation as to what that really means.
Yeah.
And it's actually pretty mind-blowing. I see Mason in the chat today. Mason from Comics and Crosses, he's been with us. He did a fantastic video on his channel talking about Way of X and examining it from the Christian lens. And whether you're a Christian or not, it's just a great way to examine it because, yeah, you need to, 1, read the issue, and then 2, go watch Mason's video on his channel, Comics and Crosses, talk about the issue more in depth because they'll blow your mind, the things he points out in it. It was just unbelievable to me. Like, I was literally so excited. I was shaking at work when I read it.
Also, I do want to say this miniseries has done really good justice to Legion as well. I never thought I'd appealed to Legion as a character. He's never been one that I've picked up any of his other books that he's had. But this book is making me want to look into the other Legion stuff.
Yes, yeah, I agree. And I mean, there's some discourse I've seen with people talking about some issues with this, in particular with the character, what's her name, Lost or something? I don't remember her name. I think that's it.
Yeah, Lost.
And I agree with those criticisms I've seen. But I think overall it was a fantastic issue. And yeah, they definitely could have done better by her, and they should have. Especially because I don't like that this could be setting up a possible redemption arc for Fabian. I think that's the biggest flaw of this issue, is that kind of sets him up for that. And I don't think he deserves that. I don't think he should get one. But that said, it was a really great issue. And yeah, I'm a mess, E-Man. You're right. I'm a mess. Elle got it right. So in case you're wondering who got it, Elle,
wonderful.
She guessed it right. Yeah. So I think that's just because she knows I'm too much of a whore. She somehow just tuned her whore radar correctly. So yeah, it was amazing.
So your top 3 so in the end was number 3. What's it? Second Chances?
Yes, Second Chances. Number 2, Killer Queens 1. And number 1, Way of X 5. And no, it's not just because of Nightcrawler, but a damn good reason is because it's Nightcrawler. So
I was reading it halfway through. I was like, because you had told me, like, I got to pick up this book. I got to make sure I get it. I got to read it. And then halfway through the book, I'm like, okay, like it feels like an X book. It feels like a Marvel book. And then getting closer to near the end, I'm like, I get it. I get it now because
You thought I was playing. You thought I was just being obnoxious.
there's a big thing that happens, and I don't want to say what happens, but there's a page in this book near the end that is just so kind of beautiful, but like in a sad way, like in a sad, beautiful kind of way.
There's multiple of those, honestly. I can think of like 3 at least. And in particular, also, if you're interested to see how far Nightcrawler's powers can go, if you think you've ever seen that, which you haven't, unless you've read this issue, read Way of X to see that too. You'll be mind blown, just from that standpoint alone. So, but yeah, that's it. I'm on my Nightcrawler bullshit. They got me, Spurrier and Bob Q. They got me so good. So that's it. That's our week in review. We did this for 36 minutes, guys, just talking shop. I love that for us.
A lot of great books this week, I'll have to say.
I mean, seriously, it felt impossible to pick my top 3 at one point because I was just like, well, this could be in there.
Yeah.
This could fit. But yeah, guys, if you're enjoying what's going on, make sure you like and subscribe, ring our bell, all that jazz. I have to say it. It's my job. It does make all the difference. So if you're watching now, just hit that thumbs up and all that cool stuff. Let's do our second segment.
What do you have planned for us, Lauren?
So we are doing a great little mini game called Judging a Comic Book by Its Cover. I know it's not a great name. Just bear with me.
We're workshopping it.
We are. Well,
I love
if you guys have an idea for how to rename it, tell us in the chat. Yours might win. Who knows? But yeah, so basically what we're going to do is I'm going to show, these guys have not seen them yet. I'm going to show everybody some comic book covers, and we're going to decide whether or not, based on cover alone, only cover, if you would pick up the book. So we're going to do what you're not supposed to do. So let's do it. Let me make it bigger. That's what she said. So play along with us. Let us know in the chat if you would buy the comic you see or not. You're going to get Steve and Tara's first reactions as well because they haven't seen them yet.
Also, in the chat, let us know what title you want to call this segment. Right now, I'm workshopping Eye of the Beholder. I don't know.
Oh, I like that.
Sign off. Let us know what you want us to call this little game Lauren's cooked up.
Yep. Yeah. So there's your first cover. It's the Flash, and I'll read what he's thinking on it because you can't see it too well on your screen. Whenever I close in on the trickster, he hurls me away from him, but this time I've prepared with a trick of my own to stop him. These thumbtacks, and he's riding on a tricycle.
Oh my god.
So what do you guys think?
Tara, you want to go first?
Oh, gosh, you're so good to me. Sorry, I was reading the suggestion. I am the judge. I am the judger. That's a good one too. I'm the decider. I'm the judger.
I was also thinking Judgment Day.
Oh, Judgment Day is good.
Yeah,
kind of like that too. Okay, I was stalling. So would I? It would depend on my mood. Because usually I'm more of like more looking for the sad, beautiful, moving stuff, and I hardly ever just let myself have fun. And this looks like, at best for me, would just be a fun read. So as much as I love the Flash and would love to go along just for that trickster on the tricycle is really really leading on the cover for me, and I'm not sure that I would be sold. Maybe at best I would put it to the side in case the pile didn't get too big otherwise.
Why is the trickster on a tricycle faster than the Flash?
And with an angle that makes him look all kinds of crazy big and important.
Oh my god. I'll say I'm gonna out myself here. I don't like comic covers that have like dialogue and quotes on them.
That's a good
they've
point.
never been my thing. Every time I see them in DC book, even this week's Nightwing book, that small little dialogue that they have on there, I don't like it. I don't like when DC does it. Maybe I'm the only one. I doubt I am. Comic covers to me, I like something that makes it look like an artwork.
This couldn't be a virgin cover.
I don't like. I like all of the text, all the stuff. It takes away from what I really enjoy from the comic cover. So this specific cover, this specific book, I would not be buying. Maybe a variant of it I may check out. I like how funny it looks, but this just seems like it's an actual like panel for a cover.
Right.
I don't know. I'm that's just my weird way of thinking.
I mean, it's an old comic.
Yeah,
That's what
they did it a
on
lot.
old comics,
But
so,
DC still does it currently too. And it's harder for me to pick up those books just because I don't know. It's my weird thing. I just don't like the text on there. So for me, judging on this, I would not be picking it up.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
I wouldn't pick it up on cover alone.
But I like it. I like how fun it looks. Oh, this one. Oh my God, Lauren. Why? Why would you do that?
That's the best reaction I've gotten from you yet.
Oh, I hate looking.
Why are you so upset, Steve?
What's
Please
wrong,
share with the
Steve?
class.
It's so ugly. Oh my God, it is. They're like, you start at like the top. You start at the top where he's got these Batman length ears. And then you keep going down, and it just gets worse. And you see the eyes, and you're like, okay, already that looks bad. And then you got the Gary Busey teeth looking.
I was thinking Nosferatu, but I think you're right with Gary Busey.
I can't. Oh my God. Why, Lauren? Why would you do this to me?
Because I wanted a reaction.
That cover. I agree, Deviant Pork. That cover.
I feel like somebody should mail this cover to Steve as a surprise birthday to him.
I
I
can't.
want to see him throw a comic in anger.
I've never seen any kind of like display of anger. I might want to see that too. You could sell that short film on that special channel we talked about developing, where we just show people's polls.
I mean, I don't hate it, and that's the weird thing. I don't hate it,
but would it make you pick it up?
Oh God,
It would be hard for me to pick up.
I don't know.
What am I gonna do with that?
Maybe for like the memes. Maybe pick it up for the memes.
There you go.
This image is gonna live in infamy because of how. Oh my God! Just look at it.
Taurus is the artist. That's the last name. I'm just looking at the cover again. I don't know anything about that issue.
Okay, I wouldn't pick it up. I couldn't look at that. Let's be honest. I couldn't do it.
You don't want that taking up space in your brain rent free.
You don't want the Batman Wolverine coming in your house like, hey, what up?
And look at his claws too. Like, oh my,
they're super.
There's so much wrong with this.
All
Lauren,
right,
Lauren, take it away.
We're gonna go to the next one. Because
Make it stop.
I saw this and my brain exploded.
Yikes!
Yeah, slap in the face.
It's a slap in more than the face. I think.
So
why would you my boy want to like this?
Lauren, is this your way to tell people to go and subscribe to Disney Plus so that they can watch What If? Is this our Marvel plug of the week?
Disney, I'm helping you. Sponsor us.
So don't cut her Wi-Fi anymore. Okay.
Tara, what are your thoughts on this?
I think I don't want that in my house. It deserves to be hated. Sorry, I'm reading. I can't see the chat otherwise, so when it pops up, I'm all over it. That would haunt me. I have a clown issue. I'm one of those people. I have clown issues.
You think the Watcher looks like a clown?
I'm sorry, but in this, he reminds me of.
It's the face.
It's
how
just the
his
face.
Eyes are drawn and stuff.
Yeah. So for me, this would be like haunting in a bad way.
I mean, it's already haunting me. So
I disagree. I love this.
Okay.
The other one that we saw, the Wolverine was haunting. This, if it didn't have that
it's a different
text,
kind of haunting. I just have clown issues.
If it
Watcher Monroe, yeah.
If it didn't have the all-star humor special text, it'd be a 10 out of 10 for me. I'd pick it up regardless.
Frame worthy.
This is amazing. I love this.
Living room, specifically where everyone sees it when they get in your house.
Yeah,
showcase piece.
I love. That's awesome. I love that cover. I would definitely pick that up.
I know what you're getting for your birthday, Steve. This is stuff in your house. Don't question it. I expect to see it on the wall behind you. So it's there every time we film.
Right there. Where?
No. I expect on the wall behind you, on that frame where that other one is. Replace it.
Wait, replacing the Harley Quinn or the Spider-Gwen?
I can't see what it is, Steve, but that back cover, that one that's framed.
This is
I'm concerned for Steve here, this doesn't look consensual. I'm really concerned.
This does not look consensual.
I don't know what my hand's doing or why it's so big, but it needs to not.
It's
Is it just
scary.
me, or does that like American font kind of look Eastern European, like Soviet Russian?
Yes, it's
font?
not just you. I was thinking about the Americans when I saw that
Yeah.
particular font. The Russian spy Americans, not the
So is this cover of this book just a Marvel version of Gulliver's Travel?
That's what it looks like.
It reminds me of you got the big guy with the miniature, really tiny people.
Oh, I'm concerned.
I'd buy this too low. I wouldn't buy this one. Tara, what are your thoughts?
I'm curious enough. I might buy this one. But I don't know if it's going in the living room, but I would need to see what's in there.
Whose hand is that?
I don't know. I need to
It's
know.
okay, Joey. I got some
none of
coming
them
up
are
later.
they're not exciting me.
The Watcher was very exciting, Tara.
I don't know.
So
Apparently,
excited.
this one's exciting L. So
Yeah, I guess Elle and I have more in common on that front, but I'm just curious about what's in there. It's not so much that I want the cover in my life, it's that I want to open the cover.
where is that leading to?
The Weird Tales of the Wee Males.
You're
Wow.
right, E-Man. You're right. And I thought the same thing, but didn't say it.
Oh, sorry. Well,
I
they did
apologize.
say
That's
we
hilarious.
males.
It does, Joey. Like, what they do to him?
Leave him
It
alone.
does.
He
Maybe
may not
he's-
have control right now.
Well, it might also be preparation for the hand. And that's the other thing. It's got cap on it. So that is always going to make me want to look.
I mean, to
inside.
be fair, I
Again,
totally see
phrasing.
the appeal and tying Steve up and having my way with him. So
There you go.
I see the appeal. Not you, Steve. Steve Rogers. God.
Oh, I meant Steve. Sorry, Alex.
Steve is a very white name. There's a lot of us.
No,
Sly
I
Steven,
don't
back
thirst
me up.
over you.
That's
That's
a very
Sergio's
everything
job.
name. Aw.
Do not buy if safety seal is missing.
That's leading really big on there, isn't it?
Is this out of context cover right now? Is that what I'm looking at?
I
So
don't know. Is it Steve?
It feels like something that belongs on like our out of context panels right now. Like this is something Sergio would get a kick out of.
Yeah, he would.
I mean,
Exactly.
Right?
We all just need to shop like Elga's, apparently.
Lauren, would
Wait,
you buy
Steven,
this?
is it actually, or are you being sarcastic?
I doubt he's
I don't think
joking.
it can be.
Steve, are you mad at me? I feel like you're mad at me.
Oh, this is one Joey's all in on.
Yeah,
What do you
Joey!
I mean, it's Alf, for goodness sakes.
Oh, so Sly Steven is saying for real. Now again, this could be a
Oh,
joke
this is
because we
rare?
like jokes. He's saying
Yeah.
for real, this cover is worth a lot.
I'm
of money.
gonna
He
need
doesn't joke about
evidence.
that.
Send us a link.
Yeah. Sly Steven, send
I'll
us.
put it up. If it's true and it shows it's worth money, I will show everybody.
Wow.
Tara, would you buy this? That sounds like a no.
It doesn't feel like a yes. It feels like if I could open it in the store, I would still want to see what's in there. But no.
I can tell you, it ain't going to be as fun as this cover is.
No, it can't. How can it live up to that cover? There's so much action.
I
That's a choice. That's a choice of words.
Well, this again, you knew what you were getting.
I think for me, I'd rather buy
Right.
that Wolverine cover than this cover.
Oh.
And not in like a bad way, in a way where like
Or
You made me
Al.
clutch the pearl.
no, like the Wolverine cover, I can like look at constantly, and it's for the memes. This cover, I feel like it's good for a laugh, but I don't know if I'd ever want to look at it again. It's like one of those things where it's like
I
it's
see your
fine in
point
the
of view of
moment.
Means, yeah.
Lauren, would you buy this?
No.
Yeah, I'd have lost out on the money there.
Oh, he looks like Martian Manhunter.
Yes, I don't even know who this is.
I'm not sure who
but
he
it's
is,
Marvel.
but he
This
does
is a
look like
Marvel
him.
comic.
Is this
I think
Marvel
it's
Comics
90s,
Martian
90s.
Manhunter?
It
Is that
could
who
be.
Sleep-
I don't
Walker is?
know.
I wouldn't.
I
be
don't know.
surprised.
I haven't read it. Again, cover only, Steve. Cover only.
In the chat, let us know. Sleepwalker, is he the Marvel equivalent of John Jones, the Martian Manhunter? Because if so, I might have to look into this.
Yeah, the title and I'm not afraid of the horror art. Not even close. Okay, Joey.
Okay.
Yeah,
The eyes. I
the
like
eyes
the eyes of this. It's the teeth that are weirding
freaky.
me out.
I'm drawn the same thing. The teeth are leading.
Like
Out the horse face.
Like I'm gonna take my hand and I'm gonna cover up half. Okay, and if you cover up the bottom half, this is a pretty good cover. Now, if you cover
you're right.
up,
If you
if
make
you cover
the
up the
teeth go
top
away.
half,
Ah,
the teeth look
he's a dream hero. Okay.
nasty. I'd probably pick it up. I'd probably pick it up just for the eyes alone.
Be curious enough.
I mean, especially if it was a number one, I would. I'd be like, huh, a starting point. This cover's interesting. Let's try it. Yeah.
Yeah,
you
you never know from a number one.
This would be a copper drop pick. Like I look at him and be like, I'm gonna use it against Sergio and whatever Cullen Bunn book he chooses for the week.
It's hard not to. There are plenty.
That's it. That's the cover.
I was like, wait, is the cover coming?
The Amazing Spider-Man 100.
Yes,
is that what it says?
That's a Spider-Man cover from the 90s.
And you can hardly make it out.
Mm-hmm.
You made me go orientation reflex. Did you see what Scooby face?
Like he's swinging. Like I can see bits. Like I can see where the web is, and
I would bring it home just so I could see stuff. That did not sound good.
That's what
just
she
so
said.
I could see stuff.
Yeah,
This is the That's What She Said episode.
it is.
Lord, what does the text say? Can you read that? The bottom text?
Oh, Jesus. No, I can't. I can see the outline, but I can't make it out.
Like, I can
I
make
feel
it
like
the
all I'm
top.
doing is squinting because I'm just like,
Wait, is it Amazing
see
Spider-Man 400? I think it's 400.
okay.
Oh, it is. Top left. It says 400, April. Oh. The death
Thank
of...
you,
Okay,
Steven.
I can see that now.
I can't, so thank you.
No, or can I? I don't know. I'm digging it, though.
Whatever it is, I would be curious.
It's weird. Like, it's weird I can't believe they did this for Spider-Man, especially like a 400 issue. They did this cover. I'd pick it up.
Deal. I would too, just because ASM 400, why is this here? Kind of thing.
Oh, I love it.
On
Other than
aesthetics alone.
damn DC and their fonts, the Home Sweet Home. Like I don't like
little garish.
all their text that they have on their covers, but I love this cover.
So if you could get the Virgin variant, I like it too.
Yeah, if I could get the version of this, I'd love it. But like even like I like the Constantine title.
Yeah,
I don't like all the other DC stuff that they put on there. But I dig it. I'd pick this up for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's unanimous.
Yep, I would say, I would cop it too.
Barbarella.
Oh, well.
I'd pick it up. Yeah.
Title alone, yeah.
Wait, is it like stripper?
Also, she's pretty and she has a cute pet.
Have y'all seen Barbarella?
No, I don't know anything about it.
It's a camp classic with Jane Fonda. It's the reason Duran Duran is named Duran Duran. Yeah. And a lot of other references go on in that movie. So just out of curiosity alone, it's not so much the cover as the title for me. But
I'm not sure who this covers by MT. I'd have to check.
I'd say for this one, this might be the most beautiful cover that you've shown of the ones that you've shown. Something about
thanks.
it. I'd pick it up for sure.
I would too.
I mean, I kind of want to pick it up already. Like, I'm curious as hell. Like, why is there a pretty woman with a cute pet on the cover and shit's happening in the background? Like, I need answers.
Sly Stevens also agreeing. Very space age.
Yeah, she's a space adventurer, so that makes sense.
Kind of reminds me of like some of the covers for the Strange Adventures that King is writing right now. Like that red Strange Adventure suit that he's wearing. It kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, for sure. I could see that. And last but not least.
Oh, that's a definite cop. That's a pickup.
Absolutely. No question.
This cover slaps.
Just visceral reaction alone, yes.
Wait,
please.
is this the French cover?
Spanish, I think. Yeah, Spanish.
Can't see well enough.
I might get it. Wait, is it only for the Spanish version? or is it also for the English
I have
version?
no clue.
Are you worried about the cost?
I don't know.
I'm worried about the dialogue in there. I'm not going to be able to read it.
I don't care right now. I would still
That
want the
cover
cover.
is so cool. I need it
It
on
is
my
a dope
wall.
cover.
I won't need to frame it in the I don't need to read it inside the frame. So
It would look nice framed. You're right,
Yeah.
Steven. That's exactly what's happening.
I definitely picked this one up too.
Yeah.
This is a nice one.
absolutely.
If you guys need us to let you know what these covers are in case you want to look them up, I mean, feel free to now. But if you guys need them later, feel free to hit us up on Twitter, and I can post the covers on there for you and tag the creator so you can
that'd be
find
great.
your copy for yourself if you'd like. Just ask on Twitter if you'd like, and you shall receive.
And be sure to, get that Marilyn Monroe one for me personally.
For the watcher, yeah. You gotta have it.
I got to send that to you and Elle. Both of you need a copy. But yeah, that's it. Those are now we're calling that out of context covers. You're welcome.
I think that's cheating.
Is that
A little bit.
I think
Judgment
it's just
Day.
well branded.
Judgment Day. That's one.
okay? Judgment Day subtext out of context covers.
We're just gonna keep adding stuff to it.
Yeah.
Let us know
Give
what
you a
you,
whole-
Semicolon, yeah.
once again.
Send
Let
us
us.
your ideas.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have a contest. Maybe
Yeah.
we should see who comes up with the best name. Like,
That would be a fun contest.
and if you win, you get like some free comics for us. I'll do it. So if you guys want that in the chat,
Can they
tell
have
us.
scary
Like-
clowns on them, please?
But yeah, so that was our game. We're going to move on to talking about our topic for today, which I'm very excited for. Nudity in comics. I know there's quite a few of you that watch our show often that have lots of thoughts on this matter, just like we do. And we've talked about it before, with especially with issues or comic runs, like Carmen recently is a big one
Yeah.
that brought up
Yep,
that
we just talked
discussion.
about
But what do you guys think in terms of should it just be all out, do what you want with nudity? Are there limitations to it? Do you think it really matters if it's tasteful or not? What does that mean to you? All these big questions. I'm going to go to you first, Steve. What are your general thoughts?
I think in terms of kind of anything, whether it's TV or film or whatever, I think the intent is what matters most, regardless of what's being told. The intent of it matters. And I think that's absolutely true for nudity in comics. I think in some instances, a lot of times nudity can help elevate the story. Not in an overly sexualized way, not in any way like that, not even in like, oh, it's a naked body, like sex appeal and stuff like that. And for like people to pick it up and buy it. I think just more so in the fact that I love the fact that you brought up Carmen, Laura, because Lauren, the nudity in Carmen, it was tasteful, but it was also purposeful. There was an intent behind it. And it wasn't, oh, look at naked, beautiful woman. It was, let's show a human body. And in those panels, in that imagery, you saw like how her skin folds, how a human body folds. All of it was proportionate to how it realistically looks. Like you saw some, belly roll, the way she was positioned and stuff like that. And I think that's needed. I think it's needed definitely in a society that is so afraid of nudity in our Western culture. Either we use it for huge sex appeal, and then when we use it, we yell about using it because, oh no, you can't have nudity. Which is it? Are we open, for nudity and open for people to accept nudity, or are we not? And I like the idea of leaning towards being open because it's something that we all have. We're all, the genitals. We all have genitals. Everyone's got genitals.
Why does that need to be a song title somehow?
I don't know. We've all got genitals. So I think I'm liking the fact that there is nudity that is tasteful now in comics, and it is, there's an intent to it. It's not to sell the comic. It's not to kind of showboat these female characters. Like if your female character is entirely just she's a naked person, I think you've already failed. Don't use it. Don't touch it. Don't like make a character 3-dimensional before you take her clothes off. Tara, what are your thoughts?
I mean, to be fair, Carmen's a terrible example of that because they have her naked within seconds. But again, that's not in the light of, oh, look at this hot body now, and oh yeah, by the way, she has a character.
I mean, the nudity in that it's the intent. In the story, she's in a bathtub.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not saying. I just think it's ironic because you said, oh, don't make somebody naked before we get to know them. But Carmen is an exception to what you just said because she is naked in that issue in that line before we ever get to know what this person's like.
Yeah.
But no, I agree with you overall on that, absolutely. And I think Tara just died apparently. It's fine. Hopefully she'll make her way back. I think I don't know with nudity it's hard. I think it just needs to be normalized. I think it's a matter of if we normalize it, then it doesn't matter if it's tasteful or not. If we make it so, like in Carmen, I like the example you gave of, hey, she's in a bathtub and stuff. That's why she's nude, and spoiler alert for the first issue, she dies in it. And so she dies while she's naked in a bathtub. And so as she's on another plane of existence, basically being dead, she's still in the way she looked when she died, naked. That's the purpose of that. It's realistic for how realistic a story can be like that. It makes sense. It would be weirder to just throw clothes on her, you made it back.
Welcome back, Tara. Is she gone again?
Oh, she's still struggling. It's fine. But yeah, that said, definitely, yeah, I don't know. I think if we just make it normal and we're not shocked to see nudity all the time in general, then it's going to be more normalized and we'll see it in that context instead of the hey, look at this sexy person. And you can both see oh, this is realistic and wow, they're just naked, and still go, hey, they're hot, but also they're just naked, whatever.
Yeah. Do you think in terms of nudity evolving in comics, do you think we've gotten to a better place now?
I'm sorry. Oh, have we gone to a better place in comics?
Yeah, in terms of nudity.
I think we're getting better for sure. I mean, we're definitely better than the 90s and early 2000s, but I mean, particularly the big two still make mistakes. And unfortunately, there's a lot of indie comics I see come out from small creators where their art style is just shit to me in terms of just still over sexualized and stuff. And it's I want to support these small creators and their work and everything, even if it's not my favorite, but you got to get past this fucking obnoxious art with it. But again, what if we had so much more, as we say, tasteful nudity to balance that out? Then I wouldn't care as much if people draw shitty, over sexualized art. Good for them. But I still have other stuff I can go see that's not that. So again, I think it's a balance of everything. It needs to be normalized in terms of nudity is never a problem.
I agree.
Nudity in of itself is not a problem. It's how we react to it. That's ridiculous.
All right. Looks like Tara, you're back with us.
Thank you. Hi. I could see you, but you couldn't see me.
Welcome back.
What are your thoughts on nudity in comics?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if anything I said during the whatever just happened to us was hearable, but I was saying that I was also thinking of where to draw the line, how to know how much is too much. I agree with what Joey said about it not helping creativity to block nudity. I also agree that we kind of know when it's over the top when we see it. So I feel like we should be able to trust ourselves. Also, I think it's a little bit ironic that it's such a big deal in comics when literally people's clothing, especially superhero type things, not that all comics are about superheroes, but a lot of the clothing is literally painted on in a very revealing way in the first place.
Yeah.
So the nudity is often a choice of coloring more than it is actually a change to the drawing, if that makes sense. So I think it's kind of ironic that it's such a big deal to have nudity in comics in particular. I definitely think it's an American issue.
It is. I mean,
the Puritans don't go away forever.
If you look at nudity if you look at just country-wise and worldwide, how sex education is taught in our countries, not to go on a tangent about sex education, even though I could, because it's very important to me.
Same.
And in Europe, including France, to my knowledge, they teach puberty education and very basic sex education early on. So kindergartners are being taught about consent and how to say no to adults, not in a sexual context, but just learning what consent means at a very young age, which we are not taught here. Then when you get older, you learn about puberty, you learn about hormones, and you actually learn about proper birth control and stuff from what I've heard. And like, that makes all the difference, because then from a very young age, this is normal to you. You don't grow up going, wow, somebody's naked, shocker. You're just like, okay, yeah, they have a body. What about it? And yeah, it definitely shows in comics country to country. So I liked that was pointed out.
Yeah, it's a really good point.
But I will say, I feel like in terms of nudity in comics, we've come a long way, because I'm looking at even early 2000s stuff. Whenever I'm on Marvel Unlimited and I'm looking at stuff that was released in like 03, some of the X-Men covers, like the X-Force covers, that early 2000s era was all about just sex appeal and just gratuitous covers, and it was too much. And I feel like we finally dialed it back and realized like what works and what doesn't in terms of sex appeal and all of that.
Yeah, for sure. We've come a long way, and I think it's important that we can recognize both things. I don't think there needs to be two sides to this thing you're already saying, but we've come so far, like we're doing great and nothing's wrong anymore. And I also think it's not helpful to go, oh, but we still have so far to go and everything's terrible with nudity in comics. No, but it's okay to say, hey, we've come a long way, and still go, we still have a long way to go in terms of normalizing it again. That's my thing, is just making it fucking normal. Like the fact that when Batman Damned came out a couple of years ago, Batman Damned came out for a Black Label. It was a Black Label book, by the way, literally marked mature for adults. And they literally had to pull that because you saw a shadow of his penis.
It's ridiculous.
A shadow. You can't even see it fully. And parents and all this shit went ham and slaughtered DC for it. So DC pulled it from print immediately when that happened. And it's like, oh my God, it's a Black Label book.
Is it wrong that I laughed when you went to scale on the picture? I'm sorry. I
didn't realize I did that to be fair. Yeah, like it's just ridiculous. And so even though, we've come far to the point where we have things like Black Label that can do more nudity, they still can't.
Yeah.
They couldn't do that when they're supposed to be able to.
So I think MT brought up a question. Is there a time when it's all right to show skin to titillate, or I'm assuming to attract, to be sexy for that sex appeal? Do you think, Tara, there is a time when it's all right in comics for that?
I'm not anti-erotica.
Right.
So I'm more against exploitation. So I guess as long as that's somehow germane to the story, I don't see, did I just say germane? Yeah. As long as that somehow matters to the story in English, in less nerd, then I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, I just told you that I bought the Black Label covers for the book because I wanted to see the adult ones. I wanted, my copies of the adult ones. Do I want a 7-year-old to walk into the store and see them before they understand what they're saying? No. And it wasn't, they weren't simple nudes. They were people interacting. So
right.
I don't know why I'm talking in code like somebody brought a toddler to the show.
You're talking about like sex criminals?
Yeah, no, actually, I'm talking about, why did I just suddenly forget the name of it? Last book you'll ever read.
Okay, right.
The variants.
So for me, to kind of answer MT's question, it's like, I think there are certain books that, whatever, the intent is to like, titilize, we'll say, I don't know, to attract, to just be sexy and all that stuff. But I think in terms of comics, when there's more books that are like that than there are books that aren't, I think that's where we inherently see the problem. We've like read Sonya, like that's a book that's a book series. The covers alone, that it's got to be about sexualizing the character. Right. Or I've never read it.
Vampirella too. Yeah.
Vampirella. Yeah, I've never read those books. And I'm like segment 2. I'm judging the books by the cover.
Same.
And I don't know what the content is like, and because of the cover, I don't want to get to know the content. But I agree with what Tara's saying. I'm not against having those things exist. I'm not against characters being shown as sexy if there are sexy characters. But also, there has to be equality in it. There has to be, if this, then that. If those books exist, then let's get books that are tasteful, that there is a point for the nudity. If the majority of the books released in comics are about sexualizing these nude characters, that's an imbalance. That doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I think there is a place, and I like the fact that there are books that are just for adults, and they're just supposed to be sexy. They're just It's basically like reading porn. I don't
Mhm.
think there's an issue with that. Fine, absolutely, great. Yeah, let's do it. But again, like Steve said, if you're going to do that, then we also need tasteful shit. I want both options. The whole point is to have the option to do what you like. I don't want options taken from anybody. I don't want people that enjoy that stuff to lose that. But I also don't want people that, hey, want something that's more tasteful, as we say, and all that. I think everybody needs an option to have something. And when one dominates the other, it's a problem. Even if tasteful completely dominates, that's also bad, in my opinion, because it's okay to just like sex stuff and to just want to say, hey, look, that person's hot. There's nothing wrong with that if it's in the right situation, the right circumstance. Like if I read a book where its intent is to do that, that's okay. But if I read a book and it's an actual story with real characters and that's all I do when I read that book and I don't also enjoy the story and the plot and the characters and stuff, that's a problem to me.
Mhm.
So I agree with you, Steve. Like you sold me on the fact, yeah, intent matters and we need all options. I mean, people like to use the example of, oh, you don't like nudity. Well, what about Dick Grayson? You like that they, put the gaze on his ass all the time because that's the intent.
Yeah.
Like they do that intentionally, and he still has a great character. He also has these great stories, and we also just look at his ass, like Steve Rogers in the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
They showed off his ass, and I had no problem with that because one, I think he's hot, duh. But also two, he sells a story and he's a character. I can do both. I can say, oh my god, yes, that's hilarious, and okay, here's the plot, and at the same time still go, oh, that's a hot ass. Like I'm doing both. I'm not just sexualizing him completely.
Yeah, I think there's
So,
definitely there should both can exist.
Right. And they should.
Yeah, and they should
be
exist.
Peaceful coexistence. Yes. People should.
Yeah. So is there any other thoughts in terms of nudity in comics that we'd like to get into?
I mean, I think that kind of summed it up well. I mean, if we're all in agreement there in terms of, yeah, I think nudity in comics can be hit or miss. Everybody has different tastes, but the thing is, there should be a market to appeal to all different tastes, and everybody should have an option. It should not be taken just because you don't like it. Like, oh, I like nudity. Nudity should be in comics. Shut up, you're wrong. Oh, I love nudity. I want all nudity. No, you're wrong.
That's also wrong.
Like it. You can have your option, and so can they. I think they all need to coexist, and I think that's kind of where it is.
Yeah, in the end, we all need to hashtag destigmatize the dong.
I was hoping that would come up again.
Exactly. Also, Frank, I don't recognize your name, Frank. I don't know if you've been here before, but welcome in case you haven't. Sunstone is amazing. That is by Stefan Sedgwick, if I said his name right. He's an amazing artist. He did the Harleen line that was Black Label a while ago. Sunstone is an amazing series that focuses on like BDSM relationships, polyamory, and it's actually incredibly well written. Stefan does a great job. So if you want to see tasteful nudity while still being a little more adult than usual, definitely check Sunstone out. It's a great read. But yeah, so any last thoughts, Tara, Steve?
I said mine. We got to get that hashtag rolling. Destigmatize the dong.
Destigmatize the dong.
We need
everybody.
more dongs.
At DC, at Marvel. Don't cut me off, Marvel.
Yeah, equal time is definitely important. It shouldn't
Let's see
just
America's
be about
dong.
nude women.
We've had enough of America's ass.
Right. Exactly.
That's true. They will automatically. I'm sorry. Just automatically go to the backside when the males are in there, and that's wrong too. But again,
all I heard was backside and males. I don't know what you're saying, Tara.
I don't know what I'm saying either, so I'm just going to stop there.
You're saying to destigmatize the dong. Say it with me.
I am saying destigmatize the dong. Now, there you have your sound bite.
Knocks on DC's door going, dong, dong, dong. I think we'll end there on the discussion. So that's nudity in comics. Read it if you want to. If you don't, shut up. Let people read it. Have a balance of both things. Speaking of having balance, Steve, what did y'all do into your comic book club this week and catch up on read?
On Tuesday, we ended up discussing Frank Miller's Batman Year One. It was a really, really good discussion. A lot of people came out for it, and I think in general agreement, everyone kind of enjoyed the book. Like, there's a lot to be said about it. So if you want to hear what people have to say, come join the Discord, Twitter at TL Comic Book Club. There you will find the Discord link, and you'll be able to listen to archive discussions and hear what people thought about that. In terms of this week, though, on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we are going to be
Do
discussing
that backwards again.
Spider-Gwen Volume 0, Most Wanted. This, of course, includes the Edge of Spider-Verse issue number 2, where Spider-Gwen is introduced, as well as the first few issues of her first run. She's been a character that I've loved since I heard about her. I have the Edge of Spider-Verse number 2. I've got a first issue of that. I really love Spider-Gwen. As you can see back there, there's a picture of Spider-Gwen on the wall too. So this Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we're talking Spider-Gwen Volume 0 Most Wanted at TO Comic Book Club on Twitter. There you'll find the Discord link. Come join us if you want to talk about this book or any other.
You had a lot of people in your last discussion. Like, I wasn't able to fully pop in, but I was on Discord and I saw, and I was like, "There's like 8 people here at least. What the heck?"
We got up to 10, I think. At one point,
there's at least 10 people for Batman Year 1.
Speaking of Batman,
yes. But yeah, hashtag TO Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time this Tuesday. Come talk Spider-Gwen with us.
Please.
I think we should do a hashtag release the dong signal. I don't need the air cut. I just want the dong signal at this point.
And Joey's saying, don't you don't like it, don't buy it. Let me enjoy what I like. I agree. I think people should be able to enjoy the books they like. Absolutely.
And it's just one of those things where when people complain about, oh, but they're doing this, it's just, again, if we have other options with options we don't like, then I'm more likely to shut up about that. But if my only options are, stuff I don't like, then that's when people complain. So it's just about having options. Absolutely. Awesome. So yeah, guys, check out TO Comic Book Club. It'll be in the description of the video if you want a direct link. They're Tuesdays at 8 p.m. So hang out. They have 1 billion people on there. It's great. But we got to talk about our book that we read this week.
Yep.
We got to do our Copper Drop. And last week, Sergio listened to me, even though, anyways, I'll say my thought in a second. He listened to me. I'm not sure he should have. And he picked God of Tremors #1, which was a one-shot from Aftershock Comics, which I really do like them as a publisher.
Did I pick
Tara,
this?
you said you read it, right?
I picked this book.
Oh, you picked it?
Yeah.
I thought you did too, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I remember wrong. So
because
Steve,
Sergio wanted second chances.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That was Sergio pitched it. Okay, see, my brain's broken. So Steve, what did you think of this then? Since it was your choice, how do you feel about your decision to pick it up and see what happened?
You did a really good pitch. I'll say that. You did a really good pitch, and I think part of that is the appeal of it being a one shot is what kind of got me. It being a color, sometimes black and whites don't really work. Again, I haven't read Second Chances yet, so I can't say which of these two I'd prefer. But your pitch of God of Tremors is something that really got to me because of the fact that it's a one and done. There's no continuous readings and all this stuff. This is the book. Either pick it up or don't pick it up. And I like that aspect of it. I like that I read this. I'm done with it. That being said,
you're done with it.
That being said, this book deals with a lot of darker issues, and I feel like it did a good job in the beginning, and then it just kept going back to that well. And it's like, we get it. These old times were really shitty for certain people, like children and women, and abuse happened all the time back then in a way that it was normalized. And this book, I think it did a really good job at showing the impact of that kind of abuse on children and women and the society as a whole. But I felt like it showed it too much. I felt like towards the end, I just kept seeing the same thing over and over again ad nauseum, to the point where I get it. Am I reading torture porn, or am I trying to read a book? Am I reading something where there's like what we said for nudity? In terms of like graphical stuff, I'm fine for anything in a book as long as there's an intent to it, as long as the story has a payoff for it, as long as it matters in terms of the story. And for this, I kept seeing a lot of abuse happening, and it was the same on repeat. After a while, it's like, I don't know if it's having as much of an impact if I keep seeing it repeatedly. And the fact that even towards the end, it's like, did it matter to the story? Like, is there a purpose for it? Is there something catharsis to come out of it? And the ending is where it's like, I guess karma happened, but
It wasn't enough.
What's the point of the story?
Yeah.
Tara, what are your thoughts?
Well, I guess the word enjoy isn't the right word. I found this book very compelling. And it definitely was Victorian age situations brought to the forefront. And because of the stuff that I study for the rest of my life when I'm not reading comic books, a lot of this time is familiar to me because it's like during the root of the time when psychology became a science and all that good stuff. So I guess I was a little bit more numb to the way the oppression played out. I don't know a better way to put it. Like, I wasn't surprised when all that horrible stuff was happening repeatedly because I knew it was going on along then. I think if I could have, like, at the end, I was like, wait, I think they said this is a one shot, but wait, there's some stuff I still need to know and some stuff I know a little too much about. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to know more about that actual ancient god, or more about the let's call it the karma incident that happened. And there were some scenes that really, really frustrated me that I hadn't thought about, like when a certain character gets stopped from helping another important character. I'm trying not to spoil. I assume we're trying not to spoil right now.
Yeah, definitely not spoiling.
So, but it's definitely a good read. It's definitely, it is torturous in terms of what the main characters go through. The people you're rooting for the most go through a lot, but I would still read it again. This is something.
I like Ella's comment here, but
yes,
here's the thing. I still don't know if it was supernatural or a mental thing, and I don't like that. Like, I like ominous. Like, I have no problem not knowing for sure, but I want at least some inkling which way. Like, I want to be able to say, I think it's this, even if I'm not sure. I can't tell you which way it goes because it focuses too much for me. I agree with a lot what Steve said about it focuses, like, it's like I kept, you see the abuse happen, and then you see the supernatural element come in, and then you see the abuse happen again. And I'm like, when is the supernatural element going to really have an impact here? And to me, I agree with Steve, it never really fully had an impact. And I still also don't know what the God of Tremors, like, I don't know what that means. Like, I literally don't understand. So if somebody has insight, like, I definitely would love to hear it, because I sat there after reading the book and I was like, I don't think I got out of this what I was supposed to, because for me, one, I'm really bad at, I struggle to watch people get abused. I mean, I think we all do, but like, I personally, like, especially whips. I do not like seeing whips and the physical impact. And you see that in this book, which is fine. It makes sense, for the story. It makes sense. But the fact that I had to see it not only once, but twice, but multiple times, and just kept going till almost the end of the story with no progression, that was really hard for me. And so that's not me saying it was necessarily bad writing or anything, but it just, I was like, something needs to happen. There needs to be some change where, oh my God, look, like the karma needs to get hit quicker, it needs to happen more. And it didn't. It took forever to happen. And it was very underwhelming when it did. It wasn't enough for me as a reader. And again, like, I felt like we were just stuck in the loop of, oh, look, we're in the 19th century. Oh, look, a kid's getting beat by his dad. Oh, look, a woman's getting slapped by her husband and she's doing nothing about it and she just has to take it. That just kept happening. I was like, I know this story. I know the story of women being abused in the 19th century and kids getting abused. And it's awful and it sucks. Why do I have to keep reading it? Like, please progress the story faster. And so it was just really hard for me to get past that. I think they had a really cool premise, but I don't think it was executed in a way that I would, one, pick up the book, and two, I wouldn't be throwing it around going, hey, I really recommend this. It was great, because it was just personally so hard for me. Especially on those big pages. And I love magazine covers style books, like the formats. But yeah, like, just seeing a guy just continuously through most of the issue, just continue being his kid and the mom, and there's hardly any great strong ending at the end, for me at least. It might hit well for others. it just wasn't enough. I wanted more. I wanted to understand what the writer was trying to say, and I don't understand what layers they were talking about. So if anybody's insight on more layers in that book I missed, let me know, because I'd be really interested.
I really enjoy the theme of kind of modern day science and how we know things now, like epilepsy and seizures and all that stuff. Our way of viewing that, and I like the fact that because of the knowledge we know now, it changes, the perspective of this story, because we know what's really going on to this kid. We know what that's all about, and in certain ways, I do like old period pieces where they didn't have that knowledge, and it was faith based. It was, let's do all these things that we know now wouldn't work, and I think sometimes that can be good for, it can help the story for the time.
Yeah, the idea of trying to purge epilepsy now is just absurd. But at the time, it made sense to them. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's cool that the writer was able to tell his experience with epilepsy. And that's something I can't understand. So, I may not be the best person to make any judgment on it. But it was hard for me to read. And, again, it being hard for me to read shouldn't say it was a bad book or poorly written by any measure. It shouldn't even count against it. But, when I think about what I'm going to read, I wouldn't pick it up. MT's here saying that he had found a God made for him, but was it a real God or was it all in his head? I still don't know.
I'm okay with that. I'm with that. The open interpretation I like. I like the fact that I don't know. I don't need to know. I don't.
It works.
I can choose. I can choose what I want it to be.
Yeah.
I am saying I like the fact that we're getting a lot of discussion on this book, though, in the chat.
And I mean, Joey, I see your comment with life really has happy endings. Sure, I'm not expecting necessarily even the happiest ending. And it could have gone bad, but again, the progression just needs to be faster. Even let's say this ended in the worst way possible, that would have been hard for me to read emotionally, right? If it had gone to that progression in a way that didn't just keep harping on abuse over and over forever and ever, in that way at least. I don't know. It was just hard for me to read. But again, that's not because it was poorly written. It's just, it's tough for me to see that stuff. And it's tough when it doesn't feel fulfilling. And it's tough because, the God kept popping up throughout the book. And I was like, what's the point of it? Literally what I can't relate to it. So actually, I now that I think about it, I'd like to actually read an interview with the author to see maybe him talk about what that represents for him. Because I think it just went over my head, man. The more I talk with you guys about it, more I'm just I just went over my head.
I would definitely enjoy hearing Milligan talk about it more, but I felt myself thinking about ways I could use this book to teach with. So I guess I went to the other extreme of for people who I've taught classes where people are so dismissive of the idea of this level of punishment going on inside a household and saying, well, why would someone stay for something like that? And them just not getting it. I think this would be the kind of book that might help them understand how someone had to go through some things. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I guess I saw it from both sides, and I have to stand by the fact that I feel bettered by reading it in some way. I don't know how to put that into words exactly, but I don't regret reading it. And like you said, the ambiguity, I do secretly wish that there's going to be more later that gets into the supernatural part, so that I guess I would, in an ideal world, like some answers on that, and maybe for the tie up all the loose ends part to be a little less quick. But I just, the one thing I knew going into the book was what was really wrong with the boy. That was the only thing I knew going in. Sure. And I definitely found it a good, but I do like a deep, dark read sometimes. So
let's do it then.
Before 1 second before that, Lauren, you mentioned the book was hard for you to read in a kind of emotional standpoint. For me, the book was hard to read in a physical standpoint, because my issue was
I was going to say, I read it digitally. I didn't know it was that big. I haven't gotten it in person yet.
No, wait. He's got
it's this big,
else.
But my issue is very different, I think, from other people's issues, because this page is a little long. And it says on here, 96282 interior aftershock God of Tremors 1 front. And I've got the first 4 pages stuck together.
Oh my gosh.
They're never cut. So on the inside
Oh,
of
they
here,
trimmed it wrong.
on the inside of here is, page 2 and page 3
Good
that
Lord.
I had to read like this.
I've worked in a print shop. They just trimmed it wrong
Yeah.
at
And
the binder. Oh my gosh.
so I can understand, some people
Let's hope that's worth something.
may not have have an easy time reading this book. I had a
You had a
specifically
really
hard time
hard
reading this book.
You needed a flashlight and
Especially in the beginning, because like I started this and then
An
I didn't
Ant-Man.
notice that it was like this, and I switched. I'm like, that doesn't seem right. And then
That's
I
so
finally
bizarre.
realized, oh, that's like a whole page there. Limited
So,
edition,
Tara,
one of a kind.
Tara, would you say you would cop this? You tell people to cop it?
I would, especially if I thought
Awesome.
they could handle the dark part. Yeah. And again, I
Lit.
read it in digital, so it's-
Steve, what you gonna say? Cop or drop?
So the thing with this book is I'm not enthralled by it, but I liked it. But I think the bigger thing for me is the fact that the amount of discussion that we're having on this one shot alone, especially in the chat, kind of shows that there are multiple different viewpoints and perspectives on it. And I think there might be something to take away from this book. If you can handle some of the graphic stuff that happens, if you can handle the abuse that's happening to the wife and to the son, and if you enjoy period pieces as well,
Mhm.
I'd say cop. I would say cop it. One because this isn't a series; it's a one shot. Really, you're spending, I don't know, at max $10. Not even like $4.99, $5.99, $6.99, whatever it was. I don't even remember
I don't
the
remember.
cost on this book. $6.99 US. So you're spending $6.99 US on a one shot, and it seems like there's a lot of conversation that's delving from this. For me, it's a cop.
Then it doesn't matter what I say because we're copping it because
2 out of 3.
we've already got 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
My opinion does not matter. So yay, I did it. I picked
it
this one. That's all that matters.
But definitely, honestly, I think C-List mentions it in the chat too. Pick it up with an open mind,
Yes.
if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not a light read by any
No.
means,
It's not.
but it
And
is
I
worthwhile.
agree with you, Steve. Like I would not cop this. I'm not going to read this again most likely, unless maybe in the future I decide, hey, let's read it again and see if I have a different point of view on it. I also am not going to be throwing at people to read because I personally, it was hard for me. But the more we've talked about it, I agree with you. Like the fact that everybody has so many thoughts on it, and it's a book that creates a discussion in a very thoughtful way. I think that is really cool. So I have enjoyed that. So I've appreciated hearing everybody's thoughts because that's helped me appreciate it better. So y'all, including y'all in the chat, have helped me a lot. So I appreciate that. So yeah, pick up God of Tremors if you haven't already, because we want to hear your thoughts, because we all have opinions on it apparently, which is great. That means it is an important book in some way, which is awesome. So last bit before we do our guest announcement and get out of here, we got to decide the book for next week. And since Tara is here, we're going to let her choose. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. So Steve, do you want to go first, or you want me to go first, or Tara, do you want to pick who goes first? I don't know.
Let's have Tara pick.
Wait, pick what first?
Who
Who
should
do you want to pitch you first?
Oh, who do I want to hear pitch first? I have no idea. Who went first last week? Didn't you go last week, Lauren?
He did go
Probably.
last week.
Then I think you should go first this week.
All right. So I'm going to be
Or maybe you
very
went
real.
first.
I can't remember.
You're going
I
first
don't
this
know.
time.
I'll just go first. It's fine. There wasn't a lot of new number ones that I was really like, oh, these are going to be bangers to pitch, to be honest. So I went with one that I think everybody should read regardless. This is Marvel Voices Identity number 1,
Ooh.
which I'm assuming it is a one-shot. It's highlighting Asian representation in Marvel, so the superheroes and stuff. Shang-Chi's in it, Miss Marvel, Jubilee, Silk, Jimmy Woo, a lot of the bigger names. They're all being highlighted in it. I think it's just, it looks like it could be just a fun one-shot. It's got some great characters that are getting more highlight in Marvel that have deserved it for a long time and are just now getting it. Shang-Chi's coming out in a week or two, the movie, so it's good prep for that. You got Miss Marvel, who's also coming into the MCU very soon. You've got Jubilee in the X-Men, so if you don't know her, you can learn her here. You've got Silk, Jimmy Woo. People know him from the MCU. I think it could just be fun, and I think it's a issue that could just have some good eye-opening, and it's good to support so that they know we want more Asian representation.
Okay. I know I'm not supposed to say anything yet. I don't think.
No, you can say whatever you want.
No, I'm definitely. I'll just confess that as part of, usually the live chat, like I end up almost every week wanting to read both of the choices. So I already.
Oh, it's gonna be even harder for you then.
It is, yeah.
Chat, help her out.
Go for it.
My book that I think we should read next week is called Echolands.
Oh, you
Number
picked a
one.
variant cover, you jerk.
Did I? That's the cover that I saw on the
You
site.
sound so innocent.
I feel like that's a variant.
That's not a variant.
That's
That's
pretty.
that's the
Really?
that's
Not
what's
a
show-
variant?
that's
Damn,
what's
that's
showing
a
up
cover.
on the League of Comic Geeks or whatever.
That's a cool ass cover. Okay,
It is
sorry.
a really cool cover.
Love
This-
that cape action.
The story, Tara, I don't know how you feel about post-apocalyptic type world stories because
Again?
I don't know.
Steve?
This book, the summary says,
I'm
in a
sorry.
bizarre future world that has forgotten its history, a reckless thief named Hope Red Hood, I don't like that name at all, holds the key to excavating its dark, strange past. If only she and her crew can escape a tyrannical wizard and his unstoppable daughter. Who doesn't love fantasy in a post-apocalyptic type world? But fate will send them on an all path leading to a war between worlds. What is this? Secret war? Who doesn't want that? It's Image? Who knows what could show up? I'm not a good pitch for this book, honestly. I'll say again, I think I said this last week, or no, the week before that. There wasn't a lot of books that were kind of appealing to me for Copper Drop this week.
Ooh, that's tough. So I'm still going to be reading both the books because the adventure sounds good, and so does the information in the book. But I feel like I'm comparing a reference book to a storybook, so it makes it kind of hard to weigh them against each other.
Is the Marvel Voices, is that like is there a lot of short stories in that, Lauren, or is it
Yeah, I
one
need to know.
long
I
story?
need
I'm
to know
pretty
that too.
sure. I mean, it
There are
doesn't
short
really-
stories too.
I would assume there would be.
I'm reading it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's short stories by the way it's written. It doesn't directly say it, but
Okay, so it's not just exposition; there's stories too.
yeah, they're stories. It's not a reference book where you're gonna open it and it's like, here's a biography. No, they're short stories. It's like the
I
Marvel
really wasn't
Voices
sure.
Pride.
Okay,
Yeah, it's part of the
okay.
Marvel Voices stuff for
Which I
representation. yeah.
pulled and haven't had a chance to read yet, because if you could see my read stack right now, we could have a whole episode about problematic read stacks. But hopefully I'll be fixing that this fall. But I won't buy myself time by regressing to that topic.
So, which one you want to read?
I want to read both. That's the problem. Okay. And I can't see the live chat. So if anybody
Okay,
wants
which one
to
do you
show
want
me any
to
of it.
force us to read? Which one are you like, you have to read it, you don't get a choice? Because we could not read the other one you pick, but if you pick the
That's
one you
true.
pick, we will read no matter what. The other book we may not pick up.
Sergio has to read it as well.
Yeah, because he'll be here next week. So
Yeah.
Well, you know how much I enjoy the idea of making Sergio do something. So because doesn't everybody?
all right, yeah. What book should Tara make Sergio read next week? Come on.
I
You
know
gotta
which
have
way I'm
something for
leaning,
Sergio to
but
come back to.
It's a tough sell because Sergio doesn't really read Marvel books, but
That's
he
why
also
you
doesn't.
should make him read it.
But also, he
That's-
doesn't like fantasy books either.
No. So either way, he's going to be like,
But he likes dystopian books, so I don't know. He'd probably
Ooh.
like that a bit more.
I don't know. It mentions wizards, so
I think honestly, based on what he pulls and how many indies, I think he's gonna pick up Echolands already. I don't think he's gonna pick up Marvel Voices Identity. But that's just me.
Sly Steven
Sly
in the
Steven,
chat
you're right.
saying make him
You're
read
right.
Marvel.
well, that was what I was
Exactly.
thinking when you were just talking right now, Lauren. And the fact that it has the short stories in it, I was going to read it either way. I would read it if it was just exposition. But Yeah, I think we'll have a harder time getting him to read Echo Lands than we will Marvel Voices. So I'm definitely not anti-Echo Lands. In fact, I will be adding it to my poll, and I'll be behind schedule next week on it too, unless I can pull it up digitally in time for the show, which seems to be a new thing that I'm doing lately. So let's go for Marvel Voices. I think it's important right now.
I'm not mad.
Baby.
I'm going to be reading both. I'm not going to lie, and I encourage all of us to read both. But let's pick that one as the Copper Drop.
Yeah, no, I mean, Echo Lens is a good choice. Like, I don't blame that at all. But also, this is Copper Drop. I'm very competitive. Yes.
And you've got a streak going right now?
Yeah, I love it.
haven't
Also,
you?
Joey P, I did not miss your comment here. I like this idea. We should do a
Yeah.
Copper Drops where we put two books
that's a good
against each
idea.
other and we compare them the next week together. I like
Like
it.
maybe once a month, even. That would be a good thing.
Ooh, I like it.
I like it. We'll run it by Sergio. Let's not make a decision without him. He might be sad.
Well, he's already devastated with the OnlyFans. We don't need to devastate
Right.
him
Oh,
any
poor
further.
baby. That's right. Now, it's a
See,
good thing you
now
didn't
he
remind
can't
me of
send
that
you his
before our choice.
OnlyFans every weekend. What are you going to do? How are you going to bond as bros?
Guys, you need to support his OnlyFans because there's a limited time that he can
Time is
continue doing
ticking.
it the way he's doing it. Soon it's just safe for work stuff, and nobody wants that.
No!
You gotta go and help him out.
Oh, jeez. So we're reading Marvel Voices Identity #1 next week. I'm very excited for Sergio to find this out. So pick it up. Obviously, if you still want Echolands, pick it up too if it's already in your poll. Like, I know a lot of you have it. And tell us if we should have picked that instead. Like, I'd love to hear you guys call us out. Please do. You guys are great at it.
Let's
but
pretend
so
we're
we-
workshopping the double thing.
Anyway.
Oh,
I'm not gonna say
me and my
anything.
phrasing. Sorry, I know. Don't put me
It's
in any
hilarious.
sound bites. I know it's a thing, though, isn't it? It's a real thing. My friends have told me, even in like classroom situations, it's a thing.
I was gonna say you probably are like a very fun teacher to have just from that alone. Like probably because you're a great teacher too, but also like that's hilarious. But yeah, so we're reading that.
We'll save that
And-
story.
Before we get out of here and we do all our plugging, we have a creator announcement. I'm very excited about this. Steve, get the picture
And
ready.
I don't know what it
see
is, so
ready,
I'm
and I want it
excited.
ready. So I am super excited. One of my current favorite creators. Finally we're getting a woman creator on. I'm ashamed of myself. It's been 19 episodes and we have not had a woman creator on our show, which is a shame on my part as a woman. We're finally getting a woman creator on. I'm so excited. She is a pretty big name right now, in all honesty. I read most of her stuff, if not all of it currently. And I'm just so excited. She came out as bi within the last couple months, which is great for me. Makes me feel vindicated. So we're going to be having Stephanie Phillips on the show. She is the writer of the current Harley Quinn run. She writes A Man Among Ye, which you know I love. And Sensational Wonder Woman. She's having another Wonder Woman story come out in like November, I think, that just got announced, which is exciting. She's really great. She writes so well, and I'm very excited. So, yes.
In case you couldn't tell, they didn't tell me ahead of time either.
Yeah,
and can I just say that that I got, like, I don't win things very often, but I did win a #1 of A Man Among You with her signature, and we bonded over the fact that she defended her dissertation in the midst of all that. So, like, I talked to her a lot on Twitter.
Yeah, she has a PhD in everything, which I think is great. Like, she, funny enough, and like lightweight, she reminds me of Harley because she can write all these silly, crazy, big, fantastical stories, but yet she's awesome. Even if she did have a PhD, she'd be very intelligent, I'm sure. But like, it's just so cool she has that balance too. Like,
theoretically,
Harley. So
yeah.
Anyways, I will save that for talking to her. I'm just very excited. I'm gonna freak out. It's gonna be a problem. But tune in, guys. Next week, Stephanie Phillips is coming on. We're gonna chat with her. All that great stuff. Sergio will be back. So in case you missed our lovable man, don't worry. He's coming back, refreshed, fully ready.
Don't talk about OnlyFans. We can't talk about OF.
You keep saying it, Steve.
No, but like next week when he's back, you don't want to spam the chat saying, Sergio, how about that OnlyFans?
next week when Sergio's back, just give him lots of compliments about how pretty he is, how great he looks, how manly he is. He needs it,
refreshed.
and I think that's valid. Like,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
a tough hit. So, that said, all jokes aside, y'all, thank you so much, Tara, for joining us today. It was kind of last minute we asked you to come on, but you're always in the live chats and you always are tons of fun. So we really appreciate you coming on. Where can we find you on the interwebs and all that jazz?
Well, I'm sorry I didn't format it properly, but that's my Twitter name next to my name. My name's Tara, and you guys know me as Film Noir Girl, which started off as a growl, like grr, 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 and but it's turned into a purr on the other show. So now we're going grr instead with it. I don't know. On the Instagram, it's just my name, TN Woolfolks. So I'll have to help you find that somehow. And yeah, that's mostly where I am. I'm on Facebook nominally, but I hardly ever check in there. And when it comes back from hiatus, look for me on the End Pod, and we'll guest for no money, just fun.
Yeah. By the way, if you're wondering why E-Man here is calling me daughter Lauren, even though he's not my father, I'm gonna plug him. I appeared on his channel on YouTube this week, and we talked about our most anticipated comic books for next week. So if you want to hear what books I'm excited for next week, check out his channel on YouTube, C-List E-Man, and you'll find out also why he's calling me daughter. Chaos. Don't worry about it. But check that video out.
Definitely.
So awesome. So yeah, everybody, make sure you follow Tara, and she's in the Discord for Teal Comic Club as well. So if you want to see her there, check that out.
That's right. Tara Loves Noir there. Forgot about that. Sorry.
Perfect. Where can we find you, Steve?
You can find me on Twitter at StovePost. Same for Instagram. Teal Comic Book Club every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time at Teal Comic Book Club on Twitter. There you'll find the Discord link. Go join the Discord so we can have a great discussion about Spider-Gwen this week. I also want to say thanks again to Emmett from Let's Go Pod, because we dropped the ball, but you did not. So thank you for sending your thoughts on the Me You Love in the Dark, and we hope to have you on again soon.
We'll have to have him on as an apology.
Yeah.
And I want to be here this time. I love Emmett so much.
Lauren, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on the Twitter and Instagram at Friendly MBHD Bye. It's right there. You're welcome. As is Nightcrawl. I'll just put Nightcrawl on top of it. There you go. Wait, no. I can't get the... There we go. Yeah. Please make sure you guys, again, like, subscribe, hit the bell, get notifications. It actually helps us a lot more than you think. So please do that. And we will see you guys next week for when Stephanie Phillips is on and when Sergio is back, and we will all welcome him with a cake to the face. Very exciting. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you all next week.